Dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be discussing on valuation of imported goods and methods of valuation. Kindly watch the video till the end, like it and share and subscribe the channel. If you have any comments about the video, please put your comments in the comment box. Now, let's move to the presentation. Value of imported goods. So first, let's understand what is meant by imported goods. In a very common layman language to say, importation of goods is nothing but bringing the goods from outside India to a place in India. So when it is looked into the definition as given by section the IGST Act of 2017, it says import of goods means bringing goods into India from a place outside India. Assume that an importer import goods from USA to India. In other words, to say a person from India purchases goods from USA, and when there is a supply of goods from USA to India, it is called as importation of the goods. So here the location of the importer will be the place of India. It is none other than a place in India itself. Value of the goods for the purpose of levying IGST shall be the assessable value plus the customs duty levied under the Act and any other duty chargeable on the goods supplied here. Which means here the integrated goods and service tax on goods shall be in addition to the applicable basic customs duty, which is levied as per the Customs Tariff Act of 1975. In addition, GST compensation shares may also be levied on certain luxury and demerit goods under the Goods and Service Tax compensation to states Cess Act 2017 here. So here the GST is levied on the assessable value. That assessable value is nothing but the price at which the goods are purchased and the other duties paid by the recipient of the of such goods here. Now, then similarly, now let's look into the valuation of import here. In the same way, import of services has been specifically defined under the IGST Act, and it refers to supply of any services where the supplier is located outside India and the recipient is located in India and the place of service is in India. So when it is looked into the definition as given by section 2 subsection 11 of IGST Act 2017, import of service means the supply of any services where the supplier is located outside India, the recipient of service is located in India and the place of supply is in India. So now let's look into how the valuation is made in case of the imported service. Import of service under consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business shall be considered as supply here. Business test is not required, but consideration test is required to be fulfilled for the import of service to be considered as supply. Section 21 of the IGST Act 2017, import of service made on or after the appointed day. Here appointed day means it is none other than 1st July 2017 will be liable to integrated tax regardless of whether the transactions of such import of service had been initiated before the appointed day. If the tax on such import of service had been paid in full under the existing law, no tax shall be liable on such import. In case the tax on such import of service had been paid in the part or under the existing law, the balance amount of tax shall be payable on such import under the IGST Act only. The import of service by a taxable person from a related person or from a distinct person as defined in section 25 of CGST Act 2017 in the course or furtherance of business shall be treated as a supply even if it is made without any consideration. Thus, in case business test is required but consideration test is not required to fulfill for the import of service to be considered here. So in a simple version to say, the consideration period for such supply will be treated as the value supply of imported services. The IGST on import of services would be levied under the IGST Act. The import of services will have to pay tax on the reverse charge basis. As per section 2 subsection 98, reverse charge means the liability to pay tax by the recipient of supply of goods or services or both instead of the supplier of such goods or services or both. Thus, recipient is liable to pay IGST on import of services. However, in respect of the import of online information database access or retrieval services UIDAR by an unregistered non-taxable recipient, the supplier located outside India shall be responsible for payment of the taxes. For this purpose, either the supplier will have to take a registration or will have to appoint a person in India for payment of the taxes here. Now let's look into the various methods of valuation. The methods of valuation can be listed like transactional value method, then a comparison method, then a cost or computed value method, residual value method, rejection of a declared value method. Now let us look into these things one by one here. Transactional value. Already we know that a transactional value is nothing but the price actually paid or payable for supply of the goods or services or both here. And such a transaction value is applicable subject to the condition that supplier and recipient are not related with each other, then the price is the sole consideration. So already we have discussed when a supplier who is a related buyer or who is a related parties in the previous video. The price is the sole consideration. Already we have concluded the discussion here. So when the supplier satisfies these two conditions, that is namely supplier and the recipient are not related with each other and the price is the sole consideration for supply, in such case the transaction value of the goods and services are applicable here. Then the next one comes here, a comparison method. This method is applied only when the transactional value of the supply of the goods or services or both is unascertainable. In that case here, the value of like and the value of supply of like and quality goods or services or both will be considered in such case. Under comparison method here, comparison method of valuation, the value of supply is determined based on the value of the supply of like and quality goods. Here supply of like and quality goods means any other supply made under similar circumstances is the same or closely resembles in respect of the characteristics, quality, quantity, functionality, reputation to the supply of being valued. Assume that, say for example, if the supply of a Boya microphone is not available, then in such case the supply of the another brand Mano can be considered for the valuation purpose, but it must perform the same, it should resemble, it should have the same characteristics that the other product has, and it should be function in the same way as the previous product was say performing. Then the next one comes here, a cost method or computed method. So when the transactional value is not applicable and even when the price of the like and quality goods are not available, in such case this cost method or computed value method will be applied. Under this method here, the value of supply will be the cost of production or cost of acquisition of the goods and services by adding a 10% markup. This means that the value of supply, if it is 100 rupees, then 10 rupees is the markup price. So the value of supply will be taken as 110 rupees here. So this is how the valuation is made in case of a computed value method. And according to this method here, it can be taken as 110% of the value of the goods, and that will be considered as the value of supply here. Then the next one comes here, a residual value method. If the value of supply of goods or services or both cannot be determined as per the methods which we have discussed earlier, that is transactional value method, comparison method and computed value method or cost method, then the value of supply shall be determined using a reasonable means consistent with the principles and general provisions of section 15 of CGST rules of 2017. So when all those above methods are applicable, then the AO is going to make use of apply the principles, the general principles and provisions of the 2017 CGS rules, and thereby he will determine the value of supply. Then the next one comes here, rejection of declared value. So here this is the value as determined by the assessing officer. When the assessing officer has a reason to doubt the accuracy of the declared value, he may seek documents and necessary evidences from the supplier. If the supplier fails to do so, then the AO may reject the declared value, that means which is shown in the invoice prepared by the supplier. The following are the reasons to doubt here. The value might have been significantly higher values declared, or the value which is shown may be significantly lower value that is declared, or any misdeclaration of the goods or services in parameters such as description, quality and quantity, year of manufacture or production, etc. here. In such case, he may reject and he may determine his own value. So that is what we call it as rejection of a declared value here. So this is only when the supplier fails to produce the necessary documentary evidences related with the product. In such case, he may go for rejecting, and thereby he will determine his own value of supply, and on that value the GST is levied here. Thank you for watching this video.